Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got this email from Carlos asking about basically his situation is that he's kind of new to this team, kind of like a recent hire, and this team really isn't doing very many best practices. So they're not doing unit testing. They're doing like some continuous integration, but they're really not doing a lot of the things that they should be doing. And he wants to basically help them to to start doing things like unit testing. He talked to his boss uh, and told his boss, "Hey, I want to do some unit testing. This would be good." And his boss basically blew him off and said, "Yeah, we're not doing that. I don't like it." So he wants to know how he can basically influence or get this going without being in any kind of position of authority. What can he do? He's just a junior developer there, and not even a senior developer. How is he going to get them to do unit tests if he tells them do unit tests as if they're gonna care? So Carlos, here's this is an interesting situation, right? So um, this is one of those situations where you have to lead by example. In fact, really, authority is kind of a weird thing, right? Even if you were a senior developer, you can't get people to comply just because they should. You can't tell people, oh, you need to write unit tests and they're just going to do it. That's not going to happen either, right? So what you want to do here is lead by example. Now, all good leadership involves leading by example. If I really want someone to buy in to me and what I'm doing, I have to show them the way, right? You got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You can't just talk the talk, right? A lot of people talk the talk. They're like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and they have these big ideas and dreams, but they're not actually walking as an example. So here's what I would advise you to do, Carlos. Basically, start doing, and you might have to at this point, since you've talked to your boss already and have asked to like get everyone doing unit testing, you might have to go back and say, hey, do you mind if I do it? Like, I want to start implementing these best practices and doing my best, and I feel like this is going to make things better. Can I do it? If you hadn't ever had this conversation, you could have probably just start doing it. But you might now, because if you start doing unit testing now yourself, not asking anyone else to do it, and you've already had this conversation with your boss, you might be like, I thought I told you no. So you might have that conversation. But anyway, assuming that you can, go ahead and start doing it, right? You want to show the value of it. If you start doing unit testing and you start showing like everyone how much better your code is, and they're looking at your code and it has less bugs in it and it's easier to fix and it's written better, right? And make sure that you show a shining example. Make sure you're writing really good code, really clear, understandable code. If you want a good book, pick up Clean Code. That's just an awesome book. And start writing good code, start doing the unit tests, start doing as many of the best practices as possible that you can. And then when people start asking you questions, which they inevitably will, then you explain the merits of it. Then you say why you're doing this. You don't try and convince them, right? You don't try and tell them. It's like you're a 4-year-old, wondering what you're eating. You don't say, oh, you're curious about this. Here, you need to eat this. She's gonna say no. you talk about why you like it, right? And what the benefits are and why it's good, but you don't try and force it on them. And then hopefully someone will ask you this question. They'll say, hey Carlos, could you show me how to do this? Like, I want to write good code like you. They won't maybe not say it exactly like that, but that's the idea. I mean, it's a tough situation. It's hard to be at the bottom and get things to go up, right? To move things up. When you're at the top, you have a little bit more authority, or if you're even in a senior position. But again, it's still going to require leadership by example. So this is the best thing to do. It's not guaranteed to work. It's never guaranteed to work. But I guarantee you this: if you're producing results, right, that's what's going to get noticed. You start doing this, it might take you 6 months of doing, the best practices, doing things right, not pushing to force everyone else to do it, but you doing it yourself, taking ownership and really setting an example. And when that happens, that increases the chances that other people are going to adopt it around you. I've done this in multiple organizations. I wasn't always a senior developer. People didn't always listen to John Sonmez. I didn't have a blog or a YouTube channel, right? And I was just some guy, some dude on the development team that was like reading all these books and telling people my ideas. But I started implementing them and I started getting results. And then that started to give me credibility. And then people started listening. And then they started saying, well, maybe we should see what John thinks about this. And that's how you do it, you know. And it's really about mentoring others, you know, helping others. When you have that kind of attitude, that's what's going to get contagious. That's what's going to actually influence people, right? When people, what's that quote? Gosh, I don't know. I say it all the time, but I forgot who said. But Theodore Roosevelt, I believe, or it might be Winston Churchill. But people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So show them how much you care, right? And then they'll care how much you know. All right, Carlos, good luck. And if you like these videos, these kinds of videos, programming videos for you've been watching me thinking I've been going off the deep end, I'm definitely going to be doing programming videos, of course. So if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and comment below. Talk to you next time.